Hey everybody, hope we're all doing well. Welcome back as per usual to more esports talk. I think a great discussion point out there is the future of the Fortnite and of course it being an esports scene out there. Given the recent retirement and quitting of another Fortnite Pro, if you guys remember with the release of Valorant, there was I think 3 to 4 dozen, not necessarily top names out there, but certainly a variety of creators and streamers alongside pro players leaving the game for Valorant or Warzone or something else that was just not Fortnite. Now recently in a post brought to us by Itemm, who is now quitting as well, I thought he very well worded what other pros and streamers have already stated about this game, including its players, its pros, and Epic Games, and citing his reason for leaving being toxicity, egos, and overall immaturity of a scene, which I'm not going to lie to you guys, I completely agree with. I think he worded it very, very well. You guys can feel free to disagree all you want, but this Fortnite scene, if you have watched a lot of our videos on this, the stuff I cover from the Fortnite scene, it just does not happen anywhere else, and it's not all the players' fault, okay? It's not all the pros' fault. They are very, very young, making a lot of money, having a lot of impressions and attention come their way. I, too, would probably act in very similar manners. It's not just on them. It's also on Epic Games and the organizations that allow this kind of stuff to happen, which I've already talked about, and I feel like I'm really beating a dead horse because I feel like I can't really get anything done here. I can't wait for 3 to 4 years from now as we all look back and hopefully we realize just how crazy and yes, immature the entire Fortnite scene has really been. As he stated, to start, one of the main reasons I've quit is because of the changing meta and how the game has progressed. In my eyes, each new update was becoming more and more casual and more uncompetitive mechanics were getting added. I fell in love with this game because of the strategy and how you could win by being smart. There are hundreds of shooter games, but Fortnite was unlike any other because of building. This strategy for me slowly faded away after Trio F and CS. It became very clear early on to me that Epic Games don't care for competitive in the way that we would all want them to, and that is unrealistic if we think they ever will. And by the way, this matches up with tons of other statements. In case you guys don't believe me, TSM Myth, TSM President Lena, we have Cloaksy, we have Tfue, we have countless other pros. It actually started out with Poach to be one of the first top names to leave out there. 72 Hours, his teammate, was shortly thereafter, alongside many other top names, have stated the exact same thing. TSM Myth himself has said this is a kid's game. Cloaksy has said it's not competitive, it's a casual game. Tfue himself has also said Fortnite is not an esport, it's too immature to be one. So it's not just one, it's not a one-off here, guys. Plenty of people agree with this. I know we still have many top names that remain in Fortnite, and yes, they have a great fandom, a great viewership. They will continue to compete and make tons of money, but there's a reason why a lot of pro players and creators are leaving this scene. And again, it's not just the players' fault, it's the game's fault, it's a lot of people's faults. And one of his main statements being, one of the next reasons I made this decision is the community. Sorry, but I'm going to be harsh but truthful. Most in the community are either literally a kid or they are in maturity. Toxicity is viewed as funny in this scene, and it just got to a point that I couldn't be bothered putting up with the immaturity and toxicity. The next part of the community I really have a distaste towards is, I'm sorry to say, how the pros conduct themselves. People really don't understand the influence and how much of a role model they are or should be to people. Don't even get me started on the egos. And I cannot tell you guys how much I respect that statement. I've said it time and time again. I don't need to go into detail of all the statements out there, all the videos we made about the cheating, the teaming, the stream sniping, all of the inappropriate comments that are made on Twitter that are made out to be jokes, all the sexual jokes by these kids that are obviously impression farmed. And yeah, you guys can say all you want, they're joking, but people, and I think even people watching right now, look up to these pro players. No matter how old or young they are looked up to, and they make these constant jokes and have this constant toxicity, and they take things to a level that's, it's so weird to see that as a W. Like all these things I've seen on Twitter, Itemm worded this so well when it comes time for a scene that these people are being looked up to, and they are being, and a lot of times, very, very poor examples for a growing generation of gamers that I think it's going to be very interesting to see how they do grow up and how, of course, the generation underneath them grow up as well. I don't know. I very much agree with his point. You guys can disagree, but the things that I have seen on Twitter that organizations don't even do anything about is actually baffling. And that's why I say it one last time. We have so many players out there who have backed these similar statements of immaturity, of toxicity, of egos, of the game being very much casual and not competitive. It's not an esport. And of course, Epic Games have done their part of failing as well. And when it comes time for esports organizations that let their players do these kind of things because they're a star talent, they get a lot of views, and because no other organizations are cracking down, they don't want to be the first to do it. it almost angers me to say it, guys. I'm just going to say that I respect Itemm coming out and actually saying a cold-hearted truth that many before him have already stated. He has now left and quit Fortnite due to immaturity, toxicity, amongst many other things that are just going wrong in his eyes with this game going casual and no longer being competitive. What do you guys think about this? The future of Fortnite certainly is going to be a constant talking point here, but I really wanted to make this video, so I would greatly appreciate if you guys could leave a comment what you think. Definitely going to read these ones through. Until next time, though, drink that Wawa, drink that coffee. I'll see you guys back here sometime soon. Take care.